This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News.
Boxing News.
I'm joined by promoter Frank Warren here in Saudi Arabia. Frank, it's always good to see you.
Good to see you, mate. You're in training for the fight?
I am. I'm ready.
Let us know. We've depended on you.
I'm glad to hear it. So hopefully there's no fallouts, but I'm ready in case I'm needed. But
Good
here we
man.
are. Big night for start off with your man Daniel Dubois. Big fight, big man Jarrell Miller. How much pressure is there on Daniel's shoulders to come back from the Usyk fight with the Jarrell Miller one?
We had a lot of pressure on his shoulders fighting at Usyk. He went there as a big underdog and nearly upset the odds. Come out of that fight showing that he has the punch to hurt people, and I'm not going to go too much into how I feel about the referee and so forth, but he came the truth of the matter is he came in that fight with a lot of people criticising him and doubting his resolve and his desire. So this fight for him, he's going into this, a lot of people are writing him off, saying that if he gets put under pressure, he'll fold. We will see. That's a lot of pressure. So it's all on him to prove everybody and his doubters wrong. He's got every attribute you need as a heavyweight boxer. First of all, he's young. He can punch in both. He's got big punching power in both hands. He's got good foot speed. He's got very good hand speed. He's got a fabulous jab when he uses it. He's got to show that he's got desire and heart. That's what he's got to show. I think he's got it. I know he's got it. I've seen him apply it in other fights. And this one is going to be a big acid test for him. There's no doubt about that.
You mentioned during your answer there about how some people have kind of written him off, some people questioning his heart and what have you. Jarrell Miller's done that. Jarrell Miller's called him a quitter. What do you make of Jarrell's stance on Daniel and his losses to Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk suggesting?
Look, the Joe Joyce fight, I mean, we can go over that a million times. He was in front on the judges' card. Joe boxed extremely well and took advantage of the injury that he had, which was a horrific injury. And if he had carried on, and I spoke to the doctor myself, the doctor said, the specialist said, he would have had a detached retina and probably been the end of his career in boxing. He did the right thing. He had three or four fractures in his orbital socket. So you can imagine the pain from that, being caught on there. You can imagine that you can't see. So what has he got to do? Lose an eye to prove to everybody he's got balls? Sonny Edwards this week was pulled out of a fight with exactly the same injury, a similar injury. So, and a lot of people, and especially fighters, a lot of fighters made a comment about it at the time, and a couple of them I know I've seen since then have had more or less been in or nearly a similar situation. But anyway, irrespective of that, that was not quitting to me. He showed when it's against Lorena, when he went on the floor, he got caught some really good shots in that first round, and they were good shots. He got up and he got through that, and in that fight, he tore all the ligaments in his knee, and which was the reason he was out for a long time. And he showed a lot of balls and came back from that. The fight that he had against Usyk, he was fighting Usyk and the referee. That was outrageous what he done. 4-minute break, and especially when Usyk even wanted to fight. I think it was after about 2.5 minutes where he said, "No, you take more time." Yeah, that's not the referee. The fighter says he's ready to go. He's ready to go, and that was it. And I would have liked to see him grit his teeth more in that fight towards the end. But I generally feel that I think at the end of it, I just felt he thought he was fighting a losing battle against, with the referee, the way he was conducting himself in the fight. But irrespective of that, that's gone. It's all out the window. People have got their views, and he's got to change the views of the people who think he's a quitter, because I don't think he is.
Moving away from Daniel onto another man of yours, Zorro challenges Jai Opetaia for that, would have been for the IBF strap.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on the IBF stance.
Stupid. I mean, everybody was on board for the fight, even the mandatory challenger. Everybody was on board. Why would they do that? But they've done it, and, they've done it. It's crazy. I don't get that. I don't understand it one bit. But anyway, they've done it.
They've done it, but the fight still goes ahead. Obviously, Jai Opetaia's come
Yeah.
out, he said financially, just he
What are
had
you
to
going
go
to do?
ahead.
Tell him what they're going to make up his purse then if he goes and fights somewhere else for the money that he would get. I mean, this is life-changing money for these guys. And I'm not saying if somebody was paying a lot of money and it was to the challenger's detriment, I get that, but it wasn't. The challenger was agreed to it. Oh, sorry, not the mandatory. They said there was no problem with it.
Going into this fight, obviously Jai Opetaia is a big favourite. I know you're going to back Ellis to the hill and back, but what does Ellis have to do to overcome Jai Opetaia?
He's got to go out there. He's got to relax. He's got to let his shots go. He's a powerful puncher. He's a big puncher. He's never been beat as an amateur. I know he's not beaten as a pro, but apparently was never beaten as an amateur, which I didn't know that until the other day. But he's got to go out there and he's got to try and take command of the ring. Look, every fight that I hear, certainly recently, people keep telling me they're foregone conclusions. Haven't been foregone conclusions. There's been a lot of upsets, so we'll see.
Obviously, with this card itself, Frank, it's stacked with so much talent on there. Which fight for you, aside from your guys, are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to the two joint main events because I think they're going to be interesting because of what they lead to, and especially the fact that the two challengers are hungry guys, and they fancy their chances against the two former world champions. So I'm looking forward to them. We've talked about Daniel. I mean, every fight on there, there's some cracking fights on there that I'm looking forward to. They're all bill toppers in their own right.
Anthony Joshua, a little frosty, some people felt with the media yesterday. What did you make of that? What did you make of his fight with Otto Wallin?
I don't know because I've never dealt with him before in fight weeks. All fighters are different. They've all got different temperaments. Some get very testy, some get nervy. Some are relaxed. They're all different. They're human beings. Not everybody's the same. All that matters to me is what he's going to be like on the night.
What do you make of that fight with Otto? Obviously, Otto's somebody you'll know from the
Tyson
Fury fight.
Otto's a real competitor. I obviously know him from when he fought Tyson. Tyson had that horrific eye injury, and he was there. He was there trying to win the fight. Tyson won the fight. I mean, if it had been stopped, obviously it had been stopped on a cut eye. But Tyson won that fight on points. AJ, he's fighting a southpaw. He has not had a lot of success against southpaws in recent years, and he's not world champion anymore, which means that he's lost a few fights. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's got left and what desire he's got. He obviously thinks he's another one's got to prove a point. He's got to prove a point. Like Daniel's got to prove a point from his doubters. There are a lot of doubters out there concerning AJ. And let's see where we go with it.
Moving forwards, Frank, and looking towards February, back out here, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. How is the big man doing? He's
doing well. He's been in training for a while now. Serious training. He sparred yesterday with Moses, and I can't remember the other sparring partner. He sparred yesterday. Apparently that all went well, and he's getting down to the serious business for the fight on the 17th.
Obviously, when you look back on that announcement press conference, it wasn't necessarily heated. Tyson obviously trying to maybe get a little bit underneath Alexander Usyk's skin, but just couldn't seem to. Do you think that annoys Tyson at all, that he doesn't seem to be able to upset Alexander Usyk with the mind games?
Nothing will get under Tyson's skin as far as boxing is concerned. As far as another fighter is concerned, or not.
Do you see the challenge, Frank, of Alexander Usyk as the toughest test of Tyson's career?
No. I think a lot of people see different. I think it's because of the last fight Tyson had. People look at the dynamic of the fight and maybe think that it's different now, but I don't think that'd be the case. I think Tyson will have his number, and he's a very good fighter. Usyk, don't get me wrong. He's obviously done it at cruiserweight and also as heavyweight, and we know we've all seen him. We've seen him in the ring with British fighters like Zorro. We see him in the ring with AJ twice, and we see him in the ring with Daniel. So we've seen him up against other Brits, but Tyson, I think, is head and shoulders above all of those guys.
Frank, whilst I've got you, I'm just interested in kind of the long-term plans out here in Saudi Arabia. We know there's those talks of Joshua Wilder. Is there anything in place or talks beyond Feb 17th
there will be other events beyond Feb 17th, and they'll be announced in due course. And as far as the fight with Joshua and Wilder, we will see what happens on the 23rd. They got to get through their respective fights first of all.
Whilst I've got you as well, Frank, just wanted to get your thoughts on obviously the fallout from the Conor Benn Eubank Jr fight not happening.
Well, I heard a few weeks ago it wasn't going to happen, which it's not happening, and I think it's been a lot of. It's been quite distracting for boxing, the whole thing, because for me there wasn't any positive in it from day one. When the fight was made, there was no positive in it. I mean, as far as the boxers earning money is concerned, that's great, and fans want to see it. But the fact that there was this weight disparity, the fact that there was the failed drug test, it's just been a pretty much of a shit show, isn't it, all around? And at the end of the day, it's not happening, and maybe it will do down the road. And he'll go on and do whatever he's going to do, Eubank Jr. And as far as Conor's concerned, he needs to go and get this hearing out of the way and get on with his career. Get it to a situation where it gets resolved. You either can explain why you failed a test, or you can't. And once that's done, get on with your career.
Just two to finally squeeze out of you. Sheeraz-Williams rescheduled for the brilliant fight.
That's a cracking fight. Look, Liam feels he's still got a lot to give. He's obviously a good competitor. He can punch. He's a good fighter. He's done it at top level. And Hamza's coming through. He's the new kid on the block. I think he's a tremendous prospect. It's his toughest fight. I think he's a great advert for British boxing. I think he's the face of New Britain. I think that everything about him is class, inside and outside the ring, and this is going to be a big test for him.
And then just final one, Frank. I know you've still got Saturday to get out of the way, but just your reflections on this year as a whole and your excitement heading into next year. It's ended brilliantly. It started off very, very frustratingly trying to get this Usyk fight done and all the nonsense that went on around the scene. As far as we're concerned, we've done well, bringing our fighters through, getting them opportunities to fight on the world stage for world titles and so forth. And I think Queensberry is continuing to grow year on year. It's been brilliant. I think my sons who work in the business, George, who's the CEO, is doing a brilliant job. I think Francis and his group of fighters are doing really well. They're going from strength to strength. I'm delighted from our perspective, and we're ending it on a real high note, and we'll kick off on a higher note next year with the unification fight, first one this century. Well, Frank, listen, I appreciate you giving me some time today. If I don't catch you after the show on Saturday, hope you have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2024. And the same to you, and enjoy yourself, my old son, and I will see you on Saturday, no doubt about it. I'll be in the ring. We hope not. You hope not. Cheers, Annie.